This is the time of the service where Mama Wendy is going to talk and share about why she gives back to God. And she's asked me to read a scripture here in Mark chapter 12. So, Mark chapter 12, verses 41 through 44. I'll give you a moment to get there. Mark chapter 12, 41 through 44. And I'll be reading from the NLT version. All right. Jesus sat down near the collection box in the temple and watched as the crowds dropped in their money. Many rich people put in large amounts. Then a poor widow came and dropped in 2 small coins. Jesus called his disciples to him and said, I tell you the truth. This poor widow has given more than all the others who are making contributions. For they gave a tiny part of their surplus, but she, poor as she is, has given everything she had to live on. And I give you Mama Wendy.
Amen. Thank you. Can you pull this down? I don't want to mess it up. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Wendy Leary, and I'm here to share my conviction about giving and why I give. As I think back on my childhood of my first experience with giving and offering, I remember when going to church as a kid, my mother would give me an offering to give to the Lord. And I'm sure you probably remember some of those when your parents would give you something to put in the plate. And when the offering plate came around, there was such a simple joy in dropping in a quarter or a dollar. And I also remember being in elementary school where we would bring to school a couple of dollars, place it in an envelope, and it would be placed in a bank. And over time, somebody relates to that, and over time, we would watch the money grow. And that taught me early on the value of saving and being intentional with what I had. But as I got older, something shifted, and I wasn't receiving money from my mother anymore, and I was earning it. And whether it was through chores or small jobs, I began to understand the true value of money. And when Sunday came and it was time to give, it felt a little different. Giving became personal. It became a choice. It became a sacrifice. And in 2 Samuel 24:24, where King David was instructed to build an altar, when everything he needed was offered to him for free, he refused it. He said, I will not offer to the Lord my God sacrifices that cost me nothing. David understood that for a sacrifice to be meaningful, it had to cost him something. That's when I began to understand that true sacrifice involves a cost. It's not free. It requires trust in God, especially when it feels uncomfortable. And for me, giving was no longer about pressure. It became about honoring God with the right heart and intentions. It wasn't the church requiring my offerings. It was my obedience in God that was required. So and this connects closely with the widow's offering in Mark 12:41-44. What is so interesting in that passage to me is when it says that Jesus sat down near the collection box and watched as people gave. That shows us that Jesus is aware of our giving. He sees not just what we give, but how and why we give. The widow didn't give much in the eyes of others, but she gave everything she had. Her sacrifice was great, not because of the amount, but because of her surrender. David didn't rely on someone else's gift. And in the same way, my giving cannot depend on anyone else. It reflects my personal relationship with God. Both of these stories show us that God values the heart over the amount. Giving is personal. It's between you and God. When something costs you your time, your comfort, your money, your energy, it reveals what God truly means to you. Sacrifice is not just giving up something. It's about being willing to do without so that you can give back to God. And when I reflect on it even more, God made the ultimate sacrifice for us. So how much more should I be willing to sacrifice in return? That's why I believe in preparing myself in a practical way, whether it's using my talents, my skills, or simply being mindful and counting the costs. So that's when it's time. So that's when it's time to give. I'm ready. So my challenge question I'd like to leave you with: if Jesus is watching how you give, what would he say about your heart behind it? Giving isn't about what leaves your hand. It's about what's revealed in your heart. And that is why I give. Thank you.